Well, glory be and mercy me. We've done it yet again. Here we are, the walk around the graveyard. Real windy day today, guys. So sorry if the audio isn't any good, but we got to do what we got to do. No one said the fight was going to be clean. So, in the wake of the UN's report on climate change, which is, in my view, an indictment of the death cult, basically screaming from the top of the mountain, uh, we aren't doing enough to confront climate change. It's going to have devastating effects. Well, the death cult isn't going to go down without a fight, right? They're not going to bow their head and be like, oh, you're right, we should actually do something about this, right? They're going to do what they've always done, which is propagandize against the people, trying to convince them that the problem doesn't exist, like they did for a decade, right? Trying to convince us that oh well, the science isn't in yet, all of this kind of stuff, the gaslighting. We're all familiar with this stuff, the stuff that we should incarcerate these criminals and for their many crimes against humanity for, right? We're not going to, but we definitely should do that. But so now that the UN is releasing reports saying, yeah, like if we keep doing this, we're totally screwed. Well, I'm sure you've seen these cute little cartoons coming out, right? Funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, right? These cute little cartoons trying to say, oh, actually, guys, don't worry about it, right? We're actually doing stuff with climate change. I know things seem scary, but look, there are things that are happening. There are changes that are occurring. Look, we've got wind energy is here, and solar energy is here, and oh look, there's electric cars. There's a big push for electric cars, right? There's a big push for carbon capture technology. There's a big push to sell us a whole lot of products in order to solve the problem that they are generating, and all of that falls apart very quickly when you actually do the very adult work of looking at what the facts are. And so these guys are losing their shit and trying to get us to come down from the mountain, to come down off the cliff of what they call doomerism, right? Oh, it's all doomerism. And the problem with doomerism is that, you're just going to get stuck and you're not going to do anything. You're not going to participate in the change. You're not going to buy the products, right? That you're going to dig your heels in and try to do nothing while we try to sell you products, right? And why? Because when you look at the facts and the evidence, we know who's doing the polluting. Here's data from the government of Canada. I'm just going to overlay this over my face while I talk, right? If you take a look, right, on the left-hand side of the screen there, the big bar, the one that's going through the roof there, you can see it, right? It's off through the stratosphere. You take a look, all of the other little bars that you see there are things like agriculture, transportation, right? Police services, right? These sorts of things. This is all how much these sectors of the society actually contribute to climate change. The big bar that you're seeing there, right? That's the military. You understand? Right? These hack propagandists, these people who are trying to convince us, oh, everything's fine, right? We're sure it's going to be scary and we've got to transition, and there's going to be scary things that happen, but while it's happening, oh, we're getting the electric cars, guys. We're getting the products for you to buy, right? We're getting the products for you to buy so that you can consume them and continue propelling this capitalist farce forward in an absurd way. Oh, incidentally, we're not going to do a goddamn thing about the military. Here's the hard reality, guys. The hard reality that no one wants to actually talk about. Even if we spread solar through the society, even if we spread wind energy and renewables, and even if we get electronic vehicles, and even if all of this stuff happens, the military expenditure of fossil fuels is going to absolutely destroy us. And it's extremely telling that the people who claim to actually be presenting a more positive message to us while we are careening towards this apocalyptic outcome are not even talking about the military at all. I've been saying it for years now. It's the only thing the death cult has left. Just don't tell people. Don't acknowledge the truth don't acknowledge what's going on. Just omit from the conversation what the truth actually is. Here's the graph again, guys. Which thing do you think is the most serious? What do you think an adult population capable of critical thinking, capable of putting two and two together, should be saying and focusing and doing when the expenditure of CO2 is distributed, like you can see plain as day from the Canadian government itself? What do you think? I would think that the best way to stop polluting would be to stop polluting. And the best way to stop polluting in our society is stop with these goddamned wars. Stop doing the warring. Stop destroying the planet. Stop spreading our trash around the planet. But the society, what are we like, right? We're a bloodthirsty pack of apes. Most of us screaming for blood at the top of our lungs to go to war with Russia over Ukraine, while, as we do, omitting the many crimes that we have committed on the lead up to this Ukrainian invasion. All you got to do is omit the Donbass war, right? All you got to do is omit military pollution. All you got to do is omit from the conversation facts, evidence, the truth. That's all you have to do. You just have to ignore the biggest problem in front of us, and you can make any claim you like about these situations. As long as we are a warring people, as long as we are a people who believe we can dominate and exert our will on the rest of the globe through military force, as long as we believe that it is justifiable to spread democracy, as long as we are gullible enough to believe that other people hate us for our freedoms, as long as we buy into these concepts of manifest destiny or American exceptionalism, or any of these overt xenophobic, racist ideologies, as long as we buy into these ideas, we are on the path of our own self-destruction. That the number one contributor to climate change, by a lot, is war. That if we were serious about stopping this climate change catastrophe, we wouldn't be talking exclusively about electric cars and solar panels and all of this kind of stuff. We would be addressing our activity on the global stage through war, and we would be saying, maybe we should do less than that. This is the great shame of our civilization, if you'd like to call it that, is that we have an institution that we call national defense. And the irony is that it's our own institution. It's our own national defense institution that is responsible for this problem. The very institution that we would look at and say, you are here to protect us and our children and our future, exists to destroy us, to destroy our children, and to destroy our future. And if we don't want it to, then what we should do is make it stop. All right, guys, this is the end of this one. Like, share, subscribe. The leftists are being chased out of the conversation. It's allowing the capitalist death cult to simply omit huge, important facts from these conversations. Just omit enormous, like wars. You could admit major world events. You can omit, like for God's sakes, they're omitting the enormous contributions of the military in the conversation of climate change by huge amounts, right? Like, this isn't like tiny missteps. This isn't like ignoring little tiny things. This is the elephant in the room, and we're just not talking about it, right? It's just not part of the conversation whatsoever. And the people who are bringing it to you, the people who are bringing it up, are being chased out of the conversation. It is happening over and over and over and over again. Just today, Scott Ritter got banned off Twitter, right? A former UN arms inspector who's been a great commentator on the Ukrainian-Russian crisis, and he's just got banned off Twitter. We are just going to end up with literal fascists and liberals talking about how to destroy the species faster if we don't allow leftists at the table. And the way that you support leftists is by supporting them. The Patreon down below. I have a live stream, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on in. Let's have a talk about it. All right, guys. Always remember, you are a quantum being, a quantum refugee, a temporary visitor to this plane of reality. You exist in quantum energy. The billionaire class is spending hundreds of billions of dollars in the hopes that you won't realize it. And just stay the good little commodity they need you to be. Rebel, revolt, repent. Good luck. We're gonna need it.